Hello, welcome to the Land of Yak. My name is Laurel. Okay, Saturday, we got paid yesterday. Let's do our paycheck budget for Paycheck 1, August. All right, let's just go over my supplies real quick. I'm gonna use today my calculator, of course. Of course, I've got my cash envelope wallet, so I'll go through that. My little pallet holder, which I use for cash sorting. This is my change jar from the laundry room. I just grabbed it to keep change, to clean out change. Obviously a pencil, sticky notes. So that's what I need to do my budget. And then of course my budget binder. This is just my normal planner, right? But I've got my binder set up with a budget section. Okay, this is my previous budget. This is paycheck 3 from July. We usually get 2 paychecks, but this was kind of a bonus paycheck month. And I did check, everything cleared. So everything's paid up. So I can move this back. Okay, I've got my sinking funds. I'll use this today. So pull out my hard costs list. I'll use that first. My paycheck schedule. Yeah, we did get paid. I just entered in our paycheck and checked it off. We're having some paycheck, maybe changes coming up. So my husband had his yearly review at work. They'd moved him into a different position this year, and he was salary, and they're actually moving him to a different position, and he's going to be back to being an hourly employee. They made it his hourly rate so it should match what his salary was, so he won't be going down, but he definitely did not get any increase, nothing to keep up with inflation or anything like that. So that was kind of disappointing, but on the plus side, he's back to being hourly. He was working a bit of overtime, more than 40 hours on his salary job, and he wasn't getting compensated for that. So, all in all, I think it may be a net positive to move him back to an hourly rate, because then he can actually get fairly compensated for his time. So I think they're actually trying to be more fair to him by doing that. But we'll just see. I don't know exactly what his paychecks, if we'll see a difference, or I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but just thought I'd update you on that. Okay, I'm just gonna get a clean paycheck budget, and I'm gonna stick my old budget. I always put them to the back. I'm just I've been keeping them for now, so if I want to look back and compare stuff, I can. But yesterday, I just worked on my calendar, and I just added in, I feel like we've got a lot of appointments and medical things this month. My husband's surgery is happening this Monday, so here in 2 days. And I've got a dentist appointment this week, this upcoming week. The kids have another one. I just feel we've got a bunch of stuff going on this week or this month. I've got a bunch of stuff we've got to get signed up and registered with our troop for trail life, and I've got to finalize all of my homeschool, co-op and all that kind of stuff. I just took some time to plan my calendar yesterday. It made me feel better. I usually would have done my paycheck budget yesterday, but since it was just the beginning of the month and I just had stuff coming up, I just took some time to work on my calendar. So because I didn't do my budget yesterday, and I didn't go out and get cash out yesterday, I did some buying. I had to do gas. I did some food and gas and just some random things on my debit card. So I'm gonna have to enter a little more stuff right now onto this budget, but I'll just talk you through it. I always kind of like to talk through my spending. I feel it helps me, it just kind of helps my thinking and kind of identifying patterns in my spending behavior. Okay, so this is going to be my August paycheck 1. So I'm look at my paycheck schedule. So we got paid on 8/2, and this has to cover us all the way through 8/15. So 8/2 to 8/15. And then I just checked my previous balance, and my checking is $16.50.84. You don't usually have that much in there to start. It's just that I knew I was gonna have a whole bunch of stuff coming up from this paycheck, so I just left as much money in there as I could last time. And then paycheck 1 is $24.85.41. So that gives me a budget total to work with of $41.36.25. I'm leaving that in my budget category, and I will just put it over here into my actual. I always since I'm kind of loose with my budget as far as I don't budget some of our other little income streams that can come in. I've talked about that before, but if I wanted to, I could write those all in as they came in. Okay, so right, paycheck schedule, I've used that. Now I'm going to be looking at my hard costs. So these are my recurring bills and stuff. One thing I just noticed when I was checking my bills that everything had cleared from my previous budget. I did notice that my auto insurance went up. I don't know, it wasn't very much. It was like 10 cents or something, but I did update that number on here for myself. And that's why I always write in pencil on here, because I feel like our hard costs, like things are always creeping up, right? Like, especially all of our insurances. Okay, so I'm just going to be, I know it's a little bit off camera, but I'm just going to be referring to that hard cost sheet, and I'm just going to write down like what my recurring like auto drafts and like payments I need to make are for this timeline. Okay, so I'm always going to my mortgage. I have to pay that out of this paycheck. $14.64.64. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and pay that right now. And then my HELOC. Okay, so this, I was checking on this morning. So my base payment, I've shared this before, has always been like $688 something. But I like to budget. I had a plan to make $800 payments, right? So I was always paying a little bit more. I'm trying to pay it off faster. Now, oh, and that's a manual payment. This is a manual payment. I went and looked at it this morning, and this has never happened before. It had totally different numbers in there. It said that like 688 number was all of a sudden, it was a past due amount. And it said my regular payment was like, it was something like over $1,200. So it was wanting like over $2,000 for me to get current. I was like, what is even going on? There's something wrong. So I had like a budget meeting with my husband this morning, and because I actually have I've always made my payment, I've always paid over, but I've also made some extra payments like in between, like when I can, because I'm trying to pay this thing off faster. But we had an issue where they didn't apply my extra payments to principal. So my husband had called and asked them to reapply those payments. Now I have no idea what they've done. I have no idea what's going on. Of course, it's like the weekend, and so you can't talk to anybody. So I'm actually going to hold off on paying this until I talk to somebody next week. I can get a hold of them and see what is going on, why have all my numbers changed. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, I've got to figure that out. So I like to leave myself when weird stuff like that comes up when I'm doing my budget. I'm going to make myself just a note to call my second mortgage. I always have to make myself a little to-do just in case anything else comes up. I'm going to put this on my computer to remind myself to do that this week. Okay, so I'm just going to leave, when I haven't paid something, I leave an open circle so I know that that's still open. And since I'm leaving it the actual, I don't know what I'll actually pay because we'll just see what they say. Okay, Compassion International, right? This is a charity we support. That's an auto draft, so that's gonna come out. That should be, I think those all come out around the 1st usually, right? These are all due on the 1st. Oh yeah, and then I have Apple. I have a charge of $2.99, and that's an auto charge, so I know that's just gonna come out on the 6th usually. Also at the same time, I have a Google. These are just data charges, right? $1.99. Again, that's auto. And then on the 8th, Cricket for our phone lines. We have 3 phones, 3 phone lines for $90. That's an auto. I'll just be looking for that to come through. And then my city, this is due on the 14th. This is my water, sewer, and garbage. And my bill is $140.23. That has to be a manual payment. And I'm just gonna pay that now. Okay, and then on the 16th, Right, we get our tithe for our church comes out, and that's an auto. I'll check that off when it comes. Okay. All right, so here are some miscellaneous charges that actually happen. So I'm going to count them in my, auto and online payments. So because, I got paid yesterday, but I didn't have time to go get cash, and I didn't have any cash in my gas envelope. So I just had to charge that on my debit. It was funky number too, because the pump handle kept popping off. It wouldn't stay. There was something wrong with the gas pump. So that was $34.28. Oh, I forgot. I also did my gas. I didn't our gas bill for $15.82. That's manual, and I did pay that this morning. I forgot. Okay. Gas, natural gas, right? This is gas, like gas station gas. For $34.28, that actually happened. Okay, so that happened. That came through. Okay, I also had to run by Food Lion for $29.37, and that came out already of the account. I had to make some Amazon purchases. I needed to get some like printer paper for $25.37. Oh yeah, I also had to get chipboard. That was just something I get to make homeschool stuff with. That was $10.69. I had to order Everett some new shoes, and those were $59.36. And then I had to renew the boys' Trail Life to the boys' Trail Life like memberships for a total of $75.94. Oh, I bought a supplement for me for $12.83. Okay, all those charges actually came out. So those are all my online payments and recurring charges for a total of outgo here of $29.13.51. Okay, so moving on to my cash envelopes, or my like soft costs, as I like to refer to them. So I do like to always kind of help myself keep track of where I am. So how much money do I have left in the budget? So $41.36.25 minus $29.13.51. So I have a positive balance of $12.22.74 to work with. Okay, I'm just gonna pull out. I know that there's still some cash in my cash envelopes. I think I'm just going to, like, for the sake of simplicity, I'm just going to walk you through what I did with it. I had $356 and some change. I'll say on hand, right? Because that's what I had in the envelope still. I just pulled out my change and threw it in here. So what I've been doing with my change, like any change that ends up in the laundry, or like my husband always comes home with change in his pockets. It's like all over, our room, and I like collect it up. And anything that's left when I do my budgets for the last cash envelope stuffing, I've just been putting in here, and I'm just waiting for it to get full. We actually have a grocery store here in town that instead of just like a coin slot at the self-checkout, it has like the whole dish thing that you can just dump handfuls of change in. And I think the last time I literally took the whole jar with me. I don't care. I'm not embarrassed by this at all. So the older you get, you really don't care to stand. I don't care how long it takes me to stand there and like feed all the change in. But it was over $20 in change. So it actually did like take a big chunk off of my like grocery bill. So don't miss out on your change. Like, gather up your change and take it to the grocery store. I refuse to go to those like coin stars because they take a percentage. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna put the change in the self-checkout. I don't care. Okay, so that left me with $356 and just like straight dollars left to redistribute. I'm gonna tell you how I decided to do that. Okay, so here are my categories for my envelopes. Okay, grocery and household items. I like to keep, if it's fully replenished, that's like 600. Gas for my car is 80. That's another thing that might be changing. Our gas budget might have to go up. I don't know. So part of my husband's job was he traveled a lot, and so they let him drive the work truck. So he was driving it, to work every day and home, and that was saving us quite a bit on gas. So I don't know, since they're putting it back to hourly, what they're going to say about long term, like what they're going to do with that truck, if they're going to continue to let him drive it, or if they're gonna like send it to a different branch or redistribute it somewhere else. So I don't know, that number might go up. But for right now, I'm just gonna leave it there. Okay, so then I like to have some fun money. So $100 again, like I wouldn't wanna spend that every 2 weeks or anything. I just want to have that much available if I need it at any one time. And then because my husband's having surgery, we wanted to up our prescription, $150. And we decided our co-pays, because we've got like dentist appointments and stuff this month and all types of stuff, $150. We're just upping it a little bit. It's usually, I like to have that set at about $100 and then $90. But we decided just to like pad those a little bit more. I think Everett and William both have to get their like molars sealed or something this month too. So yeah. Okay, vet. I like to keep that at $200 in case we need to go for an emergency. Miscellaneous, $100. And then my husband, he needs some pocket money, so $50. So this is how I broke it down. So because I already had $356 on hand, I just pulled all my cash out. I didn't do this on camera, but I pulled all my cash out and I just redistributed it back into whatever envelopes I could fill completely. And then I just decided what to give the rest. So put $100 into the grocery household budget. So I'm just gonna pull out $500 more. I was able to fully fund that $80 with that money and the fund money. So I don't need to pull out anything more for that. For the prescriptions, I'm gonna pull out the $150 and the copay money and the vet money. We'll fully replenish those. Miscellaneous, I was able to put cash already into that. I don't need any more. And for Jesse, there was like $10 or $11. I already gave that to him, so I only need to pull out $40 more for him. And that gives me a total of cash that we need to pull out of $1040. Let's just go do some math here. So our total income is $4136.25. So my total income I had to work with is $4136.25. So $4136.25 minus, $2913.51 minus $1040 equals $182.74 I have left to work with. So what do I do with that money? Do I leave it in? Do I put it in savings? Do I put it to debt? So I asked my husband this morning. We decided to put most of it into savings for right now. I guess the hospital just will never respond to us about helping us have any idea of what we needed to save to pay for his surgery. They're just going to make us, they've just completely stonewalled us and not returned any phone calls or anything. We've literally been calling for months. I guess they're just going to do whatever they want and send us a bill for whatever. That's how hospitals do. And so I guess we'll just have to deal with those bills when they come in. And yeah, so I'm sure you'll see me talking about that on this channel, for this playlist when that happens. So yeah, so for right now, we're just going to pause I still want to make that monthly, our debt payment, that $800 versus the $688, as I want to stick to my plan, but I'm not going to try to make any little extra in between principal payments right now, especially since they've messed up all our numbers. I'm not sure what's going on. So we're just going to continue to just put everything into savings until we get that bill. If I recall, I feel like every time I've ever had anything, like any type of medical bills, it always takes like 2 months for it to go through your insurance and then come back to you with a final bill, So we're just going to continue to save in the meantime and then make a payment plan for whatever we owe is. So I'm going to put into savings, just $150, and I'll just transfer that over today. So $2913.51 plus $1040 plus $150. Okay, there we go. $4103.51, right? Minus $4136.25. Does that equal $32.74? Correct. It does. Okay. So that actually happened. Okay, so my husband's gonna go pull this money out today. I just need to tell him what bills I need. So we're gonna run through our cash. Okay, so for groceries, so for $500, I just need 5 100s. So prescription for 150, so I'll do 100 and 150. And then for co-pays, same. For vet, I just need 2 100s, and for his pocket money, I just need 2 20s. I like to make myself a little grid here. I like to go, okay, if we're going to the teller, so I just need to tell them how many 100s, how many 50s, 20s, oops, I give myself enough room, and 10s. Okay, so I'll need, 9 100s for 900. For 50s, I'll need 1 2 for 100. For 20s, I'll need 2. Oh, for 40. Oh, I guess I don't have any 10s. I don't need any 10s. So 900 plus 100 is 1,000, plus 40 is 1,040 total. And then I can just send that. So I like to keep this. I like to put it on my wallet. So when I get my cash in, I know how to distribute it. And then this goes to my husband to take to the bank. Okay, that's August paycheck 1 budgeted. And I'll talk to you soon. Happy budgeting. Bye.